Hello, I'm Jason Schilling, President of the Alberta Teachers Association. I would like to start by welcoming each and every one of you from wherever you are to this virtual convention. We learned a lot over the last months about this virtual world, how to mute and unmute, how to make sure your camera's off when we need it to be, and how to constantly change our pedagogy, and then change it again. But in all seriousness, we've all been embroiled in a cascading series of crises, in our homes, in our schools, in our communities. From last March, when we were all sent into our first lockdown until today, I don't think anyone could have predicted all that was to come. All those things that we thought were temporary have become our day-to-day reality. Wearing masks, washing our hands, standing 6 feet apart, and for most of us, the sad decision to stay away from family gatherings so as not to further the spread. COVID-19 has been a tenacious and resilient foe, but the vaccines offer us a glimmer of hope and light at the end of this long, dark tunnel. And although teachers have been battered and bruised by events beyond our control, you've all made us proud. You lead your students by the power of your example. You've been brave in the face of adversity. Margaret Wheatley tells us that bravery is a choice. You choose to enter the fray no matter how illogical or crazy things are, and it is never too late to be brave. Teaching, in part, is the story of perseverance. Describes how we continue in spite of difficulties, tenacity, steadfastness, persistence, creativity. All those describe how you do your work. You continued with the utmost professionalism to do your job even when it seems like no one else is. I've always been proud of teachers, and this last year has made me even prouder of our profession. And you've shown your best, and for that, I thank you. If teaching during a pandemic were the only thing we had to worry about, that would be enough. Unfortunately, in this cascade of crisis I mentioned, COVID is only one of the many issues that teachers and the ATAs had to face this last year. We have a government in power that is determined to push through their agenda, regardless of the changing landscape. When all of us should have as our top priority the safety and security of all Albertans during the pandemic, this government prefers to rush through legislation and ministerial orders with little or no consultation. Late in the day on December 23rd, when no one was watching, Finance Minister Travis Toews imposed an investment management agreement that gave AIMCO a veto to override ATRF investment direction, with no possibility of appeal or arbitration. This is despite months of MLAs telling us that we're being overly dramatic, that the ATRF would still establish investment policies, and that ATRF would direct AIMCO, and not the other way around. Teachers feel betrayed. There is a sacred trust between our elected leaders and the people, and that trust has been broken with this pension debacle. That is why at our January meeting, Provincial Executive Council voted unanimously to pursue legal options regarding the ministerial order. In the meantime, keep contacting your MLA about the pension issue. MLAs are feeling immense pressure right now, so let's keep applying it. We've been given glimpses of what the new curriculum might look like. And I say new with some irony here, as most of what we've seen would be more appropriate for a classroom in the early 1900s. The curriculum process has never been under such scrutiny, and for all the wrong reasons. Instead of consulting with teachers, this government chose to consult with its own experts who hold views that are widely discredited amongst almost everyone who has ever taught, views that go directly against the very belief system of the ATA and our members. Instead of listening to the voices of thousands of teachers and parents, they chose to listen to those who agree with their own ideology. The ATA will not quietly stand by while government undoes work of countless contributors and overturns the government of Alberta's commitment to rebalancing the education system by including Indigenous ways of knowing in curriculum and to advance reconciliation for all Albertans. Teachers have a strong connection to curriculum. Therefore, we must ensure that government gets it right. We know that the upcoming bargaining round will not be easy. We know this government will be diligent in going for zero increases or even wage rollbacks. We cannot allow government to use bargaining to divide us. They will say we all need to do our part to pay for a COVID response, and they will try to pit Albertan against Albertan. You will hear many claiming that teachers have it easy. But I must say, I think after weeks or months of at-home learning, parents have a better understanding of our jobs and of us. We must stay strong, we must stay connected, and we must stay committed. If you spend any time on social media, you know how divisive our political landscape has become. We watched with horror and fascination as the Capitol building in Washington was breached by a crowd of people who refused to believe the results of the very democracy we were claiming to uphold. In our own province, we've heard the clamor from some that Alberta needs to separate from Canada, and we bore sad witness to the Proud Boys marching through our streets. But once again, as teachers, we will rise above the fray. As you participate in conventions this year, let's be a shining example of the kindness and respect we wish to see in others as we interact with one another and with our presenters. And we will continue the fight, no matter what comes next in the cascade of crises. Teachers are the reason for the ATA's existence. We were created to represent and advocate for teachers and for public education. We will continue in solidarity towards a more perfect association. We're going to borrow a phrase from Roy Blunt, a Missouri senator. We are more than we have been and less than we hope to be. Always striving to be better is a hallmark of teaching and of our association. It's easy to become discouraged in the face of adversity, but we are teachers. We may be frustrated, but we're not defeated. We will move forward with tenacity, with hope, with joy, and even with laughter. We will not look back at where we were, but rather we look forward to what we can be. We will be strong, we will be united, and we will persevere together in strength and solidarity.